My question was,
I'm just trying
right
to
after
school
you
you
told the
on-
doctor about your finger injury, you were asking for it's entirely possible that you were asking for cocaine and ecstasy.
Objection
Yes
calls
or
for
no?
speculation.
No, I'll allow that question. Answer it.
Clearly need more Whitey stuff. Yes, it's a reference to cocaine, but that doesn't. There's nothing here that says that I ingested the drug.
Not saying there is, but you were asking for more cocaine and you were asking for more ecstasy, correct?
I wasn't asking for more ecstasy. I was asking for ecstasy because that was what I was requested by Ms. Hurd.
Let's take a look at the UK transcript, day 3. Permission to approach with that,
All right.
Your Honor?
Okay.
Day 3. Oh, yeah. Thank you.
I'm asking you to turn to page 463 and 464, please.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
I'm sorry. I'm going to ask you to turn to page 463 and 464 of this, please.
Sure thing. 463, 464.
Are you there?
I'm there, just
Okay.
reading it, sorry.
And on page 463, line 20, you're asked the question, Mr. Depp, what I am asking you about, and I think your barrister, Mr. Sherborne, agrees, the times we have to factor in, it may be we can put in an agreed local Australian time, but what is important, do you see, is the order that you have cut your finger off, and straight away, after telling your doctor that you cut your finger off, you are asking for cocaine and ecstasy. Answer, yes, that is what it. Question, that is what it looks like. Answer, appears to be, and it is entirely possible that I was in the state that I was in. Did I read that right?
Yes, you did. Asking for cocaine.
So we talked about the cocaine and the ecstasy. Let's talk about the altercation that you and Ms. Hurd had in Australia. You testified that you were sitting on a bar stool, right? In Australia. This is before.
So you're
can
fast
take
forwarding
this
to
down.
the end of the of that argument.
Yeah, we've heard your account of the argument, and the jury will hear Ms. Hurd's account of the argument. What I want to ask you is some specific questions about you're sitting on a bar stool. You've had 3 or 4, I think you said 3 shots of vodka.
I did 2 or 3 shots of
okay.
vodka, yes. Yeah.
And you're resting with your hands kind of hanging over the edge, like that, right?
Well, after the first bottle whizzed past my head and shattered, as I said, I walked around the bar, grabbed the larger, was another bottle of vodka, the only one there. The larger bottle, brought it back and poured another shot and did it.
And right, and that was like a what we call a handle of vodka. Is that right?
Well, yeah, it's one of the larger bottles it's got a handle on it. Yes.
Right. And it was full at the time, other than the shot that you poured.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't the full bottle. No.
Okay. And at some point, before you claim you sustained an injury to your finger, I believe you demonstrated to the jury yesterday, but you were resting with your 3 fingers, your middle 3 fingers kind of hanging over the edge. Is that fair? Is that right?
Yes, I just had a bottle thrown at me, so I was, when she grabbed the second bottle.
Right. I'm just asking where your fingers were, sir, at that point. Your palm was facing down and your 3 middle fingers were hanging over the edge of the bar, correct?
Basically, that's correct.
And Miss Amber was 7 to 10 feet away, correct?
Once she walked, yes. Once she'd grabbed the bottle, yes.
Okay. And your testimony, and we've heard it yesterday, but your testimony is that somehow she wound up with this handle of vodka and threw it, and it damaged part of your middle finger. But what we didn't talk about, and what I want to ask you about, is it didn't if it happened the way you said, it didn't damage any other part of your hand, correct? No other part of your fingers, none of the other middle fingers that were hanging over the edge of the bar were injured, correct?
Objection, compound.
We can take it piece by piece. None of the three fingers that were hanging over the edge of the bar were sustained any injury other than your middle finger. Is correct?
The middle finger certainly took the brunt of it as the tip
And
was
there's
cut off.
there's no record of any glass being found in that middle finger. Correct?
Objection calls for speculation.
I'm
I'll allow it if you can answer it.
I'm not a doctor, and I'm not sure what was found in the middle finger. What I do know is that when I went to the emergency room, that they they had to inject me with a block to be able to put it into a bucket and take a wire brush to scrub it all clean, because I had all the makeup still left from Pirates on there. And
Makeup from Pirates. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. But none of the other fingers on your hand were sustained any injury that you're aware of, correct?
no, there were nothing else was severed. No.
Okay. And in fact, it wasn't just makeup from Pirates that was on your hand. It was paint that you had dipped your middle finger into to write, along with blood, to write on mirrors and lamps and assorted furniture in the house, correct?
Objection, compound.
All right, I'll sustain it as to compound if you.
It wasn't just makeup. You testified yesterday that it was just makeup from the set of Pirates 5, but in fact, after you sustained an injury to your finger, you dipped it in paint in the house, and you wrote in paint mixed with blood all over the place.
Objection, compound.
I'll sustain the objection.
You dipped your finger in paint in the house and wrote on objects in the house. correct?
Objection, compound.
I'll sustain the objection.
You dipped your finger in paint after suffering an injury.
Yes.
And then you used that finger to write on objects in the house. Yes or no?
Yes, that was after I'd, after writing on the walls, the blood had kind of dried, as it were, and so I stuck my finger into a can of paint and also, excuse me, mineral spirits to put my verbal messages onto the wall.
And you used your finger as a paintbrush, right?
Essentially, yes.
But you do remember that there was quite a lot of blood everywhere, including on floors and sofas.
Well, I've noticed I was leaking. There was heat in my finger, and I felt this warmth and this liquid, and then I noticed that the tip of my finger was gone. And at that point, I think I went into some sort of shock or whatever is closest to a kind of nervous breakdown.
Yeah, you testified that breakdown. You could have also defaced a painting by drawing a penis on it, didn't you?
I don't know about that. I don't remember drawing a penis on a painting.
Given the state you were in, it's entirely possible that you did that, even if you don't remember it to this day, correct?
Drawing a penis on a painting was not the first thing on my mind.
Let's
I
look.
had messages to write, reminders that were for Miss Heard.
But you don't deny that if a painting was defaced with a penis drawn on it, that could have been you, even if you were blacked out and don't remember that, correct?
Objection, speculation.
I'll allow it if you can.
This was no blackout. I know you love the word. It was no blackout. It was shock.
That wasn't my question, Mr. Depp. Respectfully, it was, you don't deny that you could have defaced a painting in the manner that I just described.
Well, given that I had written some messages on the bathroom mirror and then Miss Heard added to them, it's also not impossible that Miss Heard may have drawn a penis on a painting somewhere. I that's not where I was going.
Let's take a look at page 451 of your testimony in the UK trial, please.
Yes, sir.
And if you look at page 451, line 21, please. You were asked the question, let me ask you, is defacing a painting something that you are likely to have forgotten? Answer, I recall a painting on a lampshade, on a wall, on a mirror. I remember dunking my finger into paint thinner and using paint when I had run out of blood to paint with, and I could have defaced the painting, I suppose, but I do not remember a painting specifically. Question down below on 452, line 15. So, there are parts of this episode that you do not remember at all, because that would be quite a big thing, would it not? Painting a penis on a picture? Answer, it would be quite a big thing. I do not recall. Question, it is not something you would do by accident, is it? You do not accidentally. Answer, no, I would say not. Question, you have no recollection? Answer, I am sorry, I'm not 100% sure that I can say I did that. Did I read that right?
You did read it right, sir. Thank you.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 374, please. Mr. Depp, do you recognize this as one of the mirrors that you wrote on with your injured finger in March of 2015?
Yes, I do.
And yesterday you texted, I'm sorry. We've seen a lot of texts today.
It's all right. I did text someone yesterday.
Yesterday, you testified that you wrote on the mirror, and I don't remember exactly what you said, but you essentially said that you wrote things about your past with Miss Heard, or grievances that you had with her, correct?
Reminders, yes.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to I'd move this in as an exhibit and ask for permission to publish.
Any objection?
No objection,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
374 in evidence. You can publish.
So, on this, which you wrote on with your severed finger, you wrote in some mix of paint or blood, starring Billy Bob and Easy Amber.
Yes, sir.
Miss Heard arrived directly in Australia from filming the film London Fields in England with Billy Bob Thornton, correct?
That's correct.
And you hadn't seen your new bride in 3 or 4 weeks, and she arrives. You're not happy about her filming with Billy Bob Thornton, and so as part of this altercation incident, after your finger is injured, you write starring Billy Bob and Easy Amber on the mirror, correct?
Objection, compound.
I'll sustain the objection.
Let's pull up Exhibit 375, please. This is, Mr. Depp, do you recognize this as another mirror on which you wrote with your, in blood and paint after your finger injury in March of 2015?
Yes, sir. That's in the same bathroom.
Okay. Your Honor, move for admission of Exhibit 375 and request permission to publish.
No objection,
All
Your
right,
Honor.
375 in evidence. You can publish.
Can we please pull up Exhibit 377? Mr. Depp, this is a picture of a lampshade that you wrote on after you sustained a finger injury on March 8th, 2015, correct?
That's correct.
Your Honor, move for admission of Exhibit 377.
No objection.
All right, 377 in evidence. You can publish.
Permission to publish. And on this lampshade, which appears to be sitting on the ground, you write some mixture of blood or paint. Good luck and be careful at top.
Yes, correct.
Correct?
Yes. I thought it was good advice.